Hey everyone, I know it's been a little while since I put a video up. Spring semester has gone underway, so it's been a little stressful, six classes, working full-time at my one job, and, still working at the hospital. It's just been crazy, and then birthdays that I've had to help celebrate. It's just been but today I'm doing a video that kind of goes along with the blog I just posted. So if you haven't checked out my blog, I just put a new one up today called The Day My World Was Taken From Me, about the day I went into treatment. This video is going to be about things you didn't know about eating disorder treatment. I'm going to do some from inpatient. My dog, sorry if you hear weird noises. Can't help him. And about our partial program, which was what I was in for a couple months. So obviously the number one thing is it sucks, but down to a T, it sucks. But obviously, hey, calm down. Obviously it sucks. One of the top things that surprises me is bathroom. And inpatients, especially when you first get there, they watch you. They have to literally have the door open and watch you and go with you to the bathroom. Depending on the person, is if they actually have to have the door open all the way or just a little bit of crack, and they have to literally check your toilet before you flush. You cannot flush without their permission. Whether that's a tech or a nurse that takes you, and they literally have to see your poop or your pee. They have to document your poop, so that way you don't get laxatives when you don't need them, because sort patients are known to overuse laxatives to help lose weight. Yeah, too. But anyway, and for me, I also did purging, so for a while they literally had the door open when I went to the bathroom, and that was the most awkward thing in my life. Trust me, it's not fun. Another thing is weights. They literally knock on your door at 6 a.m. every day in inpatient. Give you a nice, pretty hospital robe that makes you feel like a supermodel, a catwalk. And then you have to walk down the hallway after going to the bathroom and get weighed. 6 in the morning. Then you have till 8 to do whatever you want, because breakfast is until 8, so they wake you up at 6 for no. I don't know why they do it. I honestly don't know why they do it at 6. But anyway, that's what happens. Another thing is meals. You literally have to sit in the little dining room. They try to have all the eating disorder patients, which was on my unit was only 10, but most of the time there was only 4 or 5. On one table they tried to, and they would give you a tray. Dietitians picked out what you got on your tray, and on the tray would be a paper that literally showed everything that was supposed to be on your tray. The nurses would have to pack them when they were brought in at meal times, make sure everything was on there that's supposed to be on there, and then they'd give it to you. You'd sit where your name is, and you'd have to eat every single last bit on your tray. Or else you would be sitting in the hallway, right by the day room, which is like the congregation room where everyone could just chill. There's a TV and puzzles and books and magazines and whatever there, and couches and chairs. And have a nurse or tech sit with you, and you have to sit with your tray while a nurse stares at you or a tech until the next meal came. So literally you could be sitting at that table for 4 hours. Trust me, I did that. It wasn't fun. You literally watch the clock on the wall. You couldn't have a phone, you couldn't have anything to do. Nothing. You literally sat there with your tray and stared. It was terrible. Even tartar sauce, if you didn't squeeze that whole little plastic condiment thing of tartar sauce they give you, put on your fish, they would make you either eat it off a spoon or they would put it on a saltine cracker. Your choice. And obviously most of the time it was boom because no one wants to add calories in the eating disorder clinic from a saltine cracker. So I had to do that once. It was terrible. They also make you add sugar to a lot of weird. I had to add sugar to my Fruit Loops. Who knows? Like, for reals. Sugar on Fruit Loops? Literally sugar on sugar. But anyway, another thing is during the day, you're pretty much in therapy 24/7. You do rec therapy. You do PT, which are kind of like the same thing. You meet with your social worker. We did a lot of things. But you had to get privileges to do special things. They had surveillance, which is the next thing. You had different categories of surveillance. When you first start, 24/7, except for after a certain time at night until the morning, then they would just check on you to do the regular, psych unit checks. On a psych unit, they had to do rounds on their patients every, like 15 minutes to make sure they're okay. And then there's the next one, which is during mealtime and an hour after mealtimes to make sure you don't purge. Then it was during mealtime only. They also had activity level 1, level restricted, which is you just do whatever activities are allowed on the unit. Level 1, which is certain level 1 activities, like it's you get to go to OT, and certain things like that. Like I was able to go to the library, but when we go to the library, we had to stop at the cafe afterwards and you had to eat a snack, or else you get bumped down to the next level. And that happened to me because I cried and wouldn't eat my snack because I was so overly emotional after the library. So that was really the first activity we did when I got bumped up to level 1 restricted and got knocked down the same day. It was, let me tell you, it was joyous. It was joyous. Best day of my life. Sorry. What are some other weird things? Another weird thing is since it's on the psych unit, we're mixed with everybody. So we had to see everything. I got to see nurses get their hair pulled, get slapped, smacked, everything. So it was very different because like I'm a psych major. I'm not trying to down any mental illnesses. But it was just weird because we're there for like something that felt completely different from what they were there for. But eating disorders are qualified as a mental illness. They put on the psych ward, our psychiatric behavioral health unit. The psych ward I feel like that's a bad name to call it. So we got stuck with everybody, and it was very different. Sometimes it felt really scary. There were a couple times where we had to stay in therapy longer and just sit there because they were in unit lockdown because there was something going on. Also, your cell phone you got in the morning, you could have it at 7:30 in the morning until 9 o'clock at night. But you could only have it not during mealtime and not during therapy time. So during free time, you could have it. So like after lunch when we had free time before we had group again or after dinner. So you got your phone only for a little bit of the day. And most of the time you were on your phone because you were, texting your friends, you were on whatever. Obviously we couldn't Snapchat or FaceTime because cameras weren't allowed because of HIPAA and stuff. So they actually had to put a little sticker on your camera. And it would turn a color if you stripped it away and put it back on, it would turn a color, so then they would know it was been contaminated or messed with. So there's some weird eating disorder things from inpatient, outpatient, which is partial program, which means you're there Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. At the hospital on the partial program unit, I stayed in a treatment facility or housing facility in actually Iowa City because of not wanting to do the hour drive from home. And it reminded me of American Horror Story. It was so creepy. I was calling Blake for like 3 hours a night because I was like terrified of my life. It was terrible. He'll definitely justify that because he went and saw me like 3 times a week. Anyway. Fiance of the Year award goes to him. Hell yeah. Because that's an hour and a half drive you had to make 3 times a week. Love him. Anyway, back to my original point. They communicated with the partial program on what you had to eat. And they communicated back and forth. For the longest time, they literally had to watch me 24/7. It was creepy. Like, I couldn't go for walks. They had a nice little trail. I couldn't go for walks. I was eventually able to go for 15-minute walks, and they had to time me. So after the timer went off at 15 minutes, they had to come tell me and yell at me because sometimes I wouldn't want to stop. They had to do. They had a bike, one bike that you could get permission to use in your eating disorder doctor, but most of the time we didn't want to use it because it was so crappy. It was creepy. They took all your clothes and they ironed on a little tiny tag that said your name, your first and last name on it. I still have all my clothes from there because they still fit me. Most of those from that time because I already had gained quite a bit of weight. That I still have like socks and some pants and shirts that have that little tag that said I made a picture because they ironed them on. They had a little section. They had 2 closets on the floor because they had 2 floors, one for girls, one for boys. On the girls' floor, they had 2 sides. 2 little big walk-in closets on each side, and you had a little cubby with all your clothes hanging up, and then a little cubby with all your stuff underneath it that you could have. And so it's great. It's great. I had the rooms had 3 beds, metal, gold, and the first night I didn't even get a blanket. It was terrible. But luckily the nurse later apologized and said she was sorry, so good. But anyway, and there were 6 beds, 3 on each side. So I had to share it with 3 other ladies. At the first time when I got there, they were only 3 ladies, but technically you could have 5 other roommates. The bathroom was shared between 2 rooms, so technically 9 ladies shared a bathroom. There was a shower and a bath. They were disturbing. But yeah, so it was. Most people don't realize when you go into eating disorder treatment how terrifying it can be. My blog is named "The Day the World Was Taken." My world was taken from me because it felt like my world was. I was under so many new rules and restrictions. I literally felt like everything was taken away from me. I remember when my sister hugged me for the last time on the unit before she left, because she went with my parents to take me to the unit the first day I was taken in, and when I told them they had to go, my sister hugged me and she told me she wished she could just kidnap me away. She couldn't stand to see me there, and I lost it. I remember the door shutting behind them as the nurse took them away, and it felt like someone literally just stabbed me in the heart. It was probably one of the worst things I've ever experienced. I didn't know anybody. I felt alone. I felt cold. I felt miserable. When they introduced me to the 4 of the girls that were in the eating disorder program with me, I don't even remember like what was said. I remember being not feeling. I remember just staring at the cement walls, just not thinking, trying not to think, trying not to feel because it hurt so bad. That was one of the worst days ever. Blake actually asked me a couple days ago what was probably one of my favorite memories, and I gave him a list of a few of them. Obviously, like him marrying me and going to Europe were, my top. But I told him one of my top 5 were the day I got out of treatment, both inpatient and outpatient. I remember the car ride home with my mom from partial program. I was dropped off at the unit or at the housing facility. My mom came and got me 15 minutes later, and they grabbed all my stuff and we put it in my mom's car. I remember going home that night, sleeping in my bed for the first time. I will never forget that feeling. I went to Hallgren that night with all my friends. They were like, well, not all of them, but I think there were 15 of us total. but I remember that night was probably one of the best nights in my life. Eating disorder treatment takes part away from you, takes your eating disorder world away from you, and it feels like everything's being flipped upside down. Obviously now it was one of the best things that ever happened to me because I'm alive now. I literally was wearing the same size pants as like my 6th grade cousin, when I was 18. It saved my life, but at the time, it felt like it took my world away because it took my eating disorder world away from me, which was what I've known since I was 12. Even for some time since I was 5, because I remember like being in kindergarten and being afraid of eating snacks because I'd get too fat. But those are just some of the, getting back to my main point, those are some of the things that people don't, just little facts that people don't realize about eating disorder treatment. And I hope you learned. I love you guys. Please subscribe, like the video, comment on any other videos you want me to do, and I love you guys. Have a great day.